Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Tanya Beloved. And I just want to start off by saying happy Black History Month. I know it's been a while since I've come back with a video, since I've done a video where you can see my face and some commentary. I know it's been a while, but like I said, I kind of want to go in a different direction with my channel and, do more of the mini covers because I've had so much fun with them and they don't take too long to make. But anyway, before I get into what I'm going to talk about in this video, I just want to let you guys know that I am having a month-long Black History Month sale and I'm offering free shipping on everything in my shops, whether on We Buy Black or Etsy. You can go check out all those stuff in my shops, and for a whole month you can get free shipping. I will put the link down in the description as well as the shipping code down in the description. So please don't forget to check that out. Now, I actually want to talk a little bit about this Kobe Bryant, Umar Johnson situation. Now, first I want to say RIP to Kobe Bryant. I will say this, when I first heard about the death of Kobe Bryant, I was actually in the middle of doing a craft show on January 26th, and I was on Instagram in the middle of the slow pace of that craft show. I was on Instagram, trying to promote, and I saw someone who I followed that posted a picture of Kobe. Now, I ignored that first picture because I just thought, okay, this is a sports fanatic. I didn't even read their caption, but I thought, okay, sports fanatic posting about Kobe. Kobe probably won a game or something, and then forgetting that he retired, or Kobe probably did something great, because I do get people who are sports fanatics. But then I saw another post from someone who, we talk to frequently, and this person is a real athlete and, is also a model. But besides that, I saw their post and I read their caption, and then at the end of that caption, I saw RIP, and I said, whoa, wait, what happened? He died? And that really shocked me because, one, we knew Kobe Bryant wasn't old, okay, and two, we didn't know if he was sick or anything. So I said it can't be because he's sick. And then I looked up, I did more research and found out that it was a helicopter crash, and I'm saying, oh my gosh, that is sad. And when the reports about his daughter came out, that really hit me because she was so young. And I heard she wanted to go to the WNBA, and that really hit because she wasn't able to see that dream come to fruition, and that just hurt. And finding out that there were other 9 people. Now, initially that was being reported was 5 people, but then the body count went up to 9, and that is just so sad. So rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, Gianna Bryant. Condolences to the mother and wife of Kobe Bryant and his kids, and to all Gianna's siblings, the rest of Kobe's daughters, and all the 7 other people who lost their lives and their families. My deepest condolences. That is just sad, and it just goes to show it was so unexpected. But getting into this Umar Johnson situation, something in my gut told me that yes, every time a celebrity dies, or well-known, wealthy, well-to-do Black celebrity dies, here come the hostile Hoteps and the Umar Johnsons of the world coming in with their conspiracy theories to talk about how he was assassinated and he was taken out. Now, Lenon Honor did a video about this, a 5-hour live video, and I saw it in its entirety, and I actually went and rewatched over and over those videos. Now, of course, let me give a shout out to Lenon Honor. Shout out to Lenon Honor, Psych Perspective, Let's Get Into It with Ian J, Anti-Afro-Svengalis, Conscious Energy, What Happened to Common Sense, who, by the way, said he made just one last video about Umar Johnson. He's not going to make a video about Umar Johnson, and I get it. I even said I don't necessarily want to be considered part of the anti-fraud warrior campaign, not because I don't think they're doing good work, but because, that's not necessarily what my page is about. But I just had to get this off my chest. Now, shout out to What Happened to Common Sense. Who else? Flowers and Jelly, and etc. I know I'm missing people, but shout out to all the ones who stay talking about this, especially Lenon Honor and Anti-Afro-Svengalis and Psych Perspective. Shout out to them. But with this Kobe Bryant conspiracy theory, now, Umar Johnson is... I just don't know what to say. And the fact that if he still has people following him, and I'm talking about day oneers, not just the new people, because the saying goes, there's a sucker born every minute, not just the new people. I'm talking about if they're still supporters that liked him since day one and are caping for him to this day, that's beyond me, okay? I feel sorry for them, and at the same time, I don't. But the fact that this guy comes on Instagram Live and he says, oh, you know why we go to these meetings and don't get nothing done? We don't have purpose. And even though there's validity in that, it's like he's coming off as a preacher. You know, the same overzealous preachers that, you know, come into church and that you go see in church, and they're yelling and screaming and speaking loud because you think it, you know, has some, you know, reason to it. Because they say it passionately, you think it's a feeling. Man, this guy at this point is just a broke down pimp who uses word salad and wordplay. And I'm going to talk about this just for a minute. Someone on Lenon Honor's Live who called in said it seems that at one point he was so charismatic, he was so, you know, upright, he was fixed up, he was professional in a way, like a real doctor, psychologist should be. He was very professional. But now it's just, you know, he's talking like the same corner side hood booger hotep that you think is crazy. But something is up with Umar Johnson, and it's like the more and more videos you see of him, it's like he's more and more deteriorating. Now it's alleged that he's on drugs, it's alleged that he's living in his car, but it seems like even with his surroundings, like, yes, it's like you see that it's getting worse and worse and worse for him, and we're watching him self-destruct and deteriorate before our eyes. But because he has so much pride and ego, like a lot of people do, and, you know, like some people in our community do, you know, he's going to act like it's all good, and you just need to, quote unquote, run them donations, in his words. But let me get into this Kobe Bryant conspiracy. So, of course, he says, oh no, Kobe Bryant, that was no accident. That helicopter crash was no accident. He was sabotaged. The helicopter propeller was sabotaged, when really it's the rotor, but or the router, if I'm saying that right. He's saying that it was sabotaged. And look, like I said, I wouldn't put it past any powers that be, but the reasons and conspiracy theories as to why he says that Kobe Bryant was sabotaged or he was assassinated or taken out, and this is racism, white supremacy working, it's ridiculous. He said he saw that picture of the helicopter crash. There was no fog in there. Now, granted, I'm on TikTok, and on TikTok, after Kobe's death, of even a few days later, people are talking about Kobe's death. There was a video about, or claiming to have, the real footage of the helicopter crash, and I saw the conditionings and the surroundings, and like I forgot the guy's name, but he was also on Lenon Honor's Live and said that common sense will tell you that it wasn't that plane crash. And someone even mentioned in the comment on TikTok where and I said plane crash, I meant helicopter crash, but still, there's people in the comments on TikTok said that wasn't the exact location. And if you saw the video or the pictures online of people coming towards the plane crash aftermath, yes, there was fog, and the landscaping, there was more grass everywhere. The video that may have been surfacing the internet, or that has been surfacing the internet claiming to be the plane crash or the helicopter crash, is not the helicopter crash. It's not the same helicopter crash. When you look at it, especially as the helicopter is spiraling out of control, you can see that it's sunny and the landscaping is like more rocks and hills and stuff. It's not the same landscape. But Umar, of course, he takes down that live video and comes back and said, oh, and notice how he's stuttering, because he just doesn't want to admit that he's wrong, or he's too distracted by improperly sweeping that floor, that ground in front of that, you know, run down building. But this man basically is talking out of both sides of his neck. He's just pulling out stuff out of his behind. He even said that, oh, he was killed because Kobe was in a legal battle with a pharmaceutical company, a very powerful pharmaceutical company, over the use of the name Black Mamba. But I'm saying that isn't enough to, I don't believe that's enough to go take this person out. Now, granted, again, I would not put it past any powers that be, but his conspiracy theories and his theories are just utterly ridiculous. They make absolutely no sense. And I just feel like it's a far stretch. And like that person who was on Lenon Honor's Live who said that he was a recovering conspiracy theorist, he said, yeah, sometimes we want things to make sense so bad that when people put something or two and two together, we will force it to make sense when really it doesn't make sense. Now, when a conspiracy theory makes enough sense, okay, we're entitled, or not entitled, but we're, you know, compelled to believe it. Because, yeah, when they make a lot of sense, it's easier to believe it. However, this doesn't make any sense. Also, he made a conspiracy theory saying that LeBron James, because LeBron James surpassed Kobe as, the best Laker in the Lakers, because he surpassed Kobe, then that was a ritual, and that was, a way for the Illuminati or the Rothschilds to come back and, take him out. And Lenon Honor made a very good point. Okay, so what about when LeBron James surpassed all these other great basketball players? Why didn't they take them out? So at the end of the day, you can tell this man is just talking out of his behind. And I'm trying to censor my channel as much as possible, but, if I let one slip out, forgive me. But he's pulling things out of his behind because guess what? At the end of the day, it all comes back to this guy is trying to get money. And this guy is getting more and more desperate. Remember at one point he said he didn't want to hear anything. He didn't want you to criticize him. He didn't want more than $25. Now he's begging for $2. He said $2 and $1 will do. But before, when he was calling us trifling black people, $25 wasn't enough. He needed some more and some more and some more and some more. But now at this point, he's so desperate that he's begging for $2. Okay? At this point, and I know Lenon Honor and other people, you don't like to use the term bum, but at this point, Umar Johnson is a cyber panhandler. He's just a professional panhandler. We need to call him at this point, he needs to be called the Prince of Panhandling. That's what he is right now. Because every minute he's just asking and begging for money. And it's clear that maybe it's time for him to get a job. I think he's deteriorating and his pride and ego won't just let him admit that he's wrong. He has a level of narcissism in him. And you know what they say about pride. Pride is one of the 7 deadly sins. And it seems that his pride and the extremist pride that some of these hoteps have and some of the men in our community have. This is not to bash you guys, but this is just to call it what it is. The pride that people have, especially within our community, is literally killing us, okay? It's killing us and it's stunting your growth. So he wants to talk about building and, strong alpha male, African alpha male, ism and whatnot. And he's a gamma omega male, begging people for money online, using the deaths of celebrities. And because they're either new people or young and impressionable people who, believe in the cause so much, or older folks who've been day one from him because they like to listen to him and they just like a good word. That's, you can apply this to the same church stuff because that's what people do. You just like to hear a good word, but there's no action behind it. This man, look, I believe this man is a fraud and a scammer. Like I've said, I don't believe that school is ever going to be built. And like I said, he's been using the deaths of celebrities to come up with all types of conspiracy theories. He's been coming up with conspiracy theories about, well-known people, especially black figures who did good things and great things, to get more money and to get more fame from the internet. And like I said in my past videos, it seems like once that internet fame hit, as well as with those other hoteps like the Yada Awakenings and the Brother Polites, they really, like someone said in Lenon Honor's video, they had good intentions, but it seems like once that internet fame hit, then they really got caught up and it went to their head. And I've heard from another person from the UK who was talking to Lenon Honor, or no, I think she was from South Africa. I totally forgot. I think it was the UK. I was right. There was this one woman on Lenon Honor's live, first caller, who said that he needs to stop coming to the UK. He's been pimping out and scamming black people over in the UK. The same thing he said, he needs revolutionary black attorneys, not coons, not toms, not Negroes. And I'm sorry, if you really think that you're just gonna, up and go to some other country and, take over like that so easily, you have another thing coming. And I even said this in my past videos that you claim that you want to build a school in Africa. You claim you're gonna go to Africa. We're all gonna move to Africa. But yet and still, you may have to follow their rules and their laws and their regulations. So if you ask me, you're gonna still be under some form of government law. So I don't know what this man really talks with so much bravado. He really talks like he's the best thing to ever happen to the Black community. And I think he's one of the worst. Now, granted, if he actually had a plan, a team, and we actually saw this school happen and come into fruition, it will be much easier for us to say that, you know what, this man actually did something. I don't think we'd be making videos about him being a fraud like we are now. And this is not to bash him. This is just to call out all the problems, all the hypocrisies, all the issues. Now, granted, this is not the first time, like I said, he's used the death of a celebrity. He said back in 2014, where I saw this video, he said, oh, Johnny Cochran was assassinated because they just said he had a brain aneurysm, because that's what's been reported. He died of a brain aneurysm. And the reason that they said it was a brain aneurysm because the brain aneurysm is a hard thing to detect. It's one of the hardest things to detect. So they're just going to lie to you and tell you that it was a brain aneurysm, but they really got rid of Johnny Cochran because he was about to bring all this stuff back. Same thing with Michael Jackson. He said, oh, they took out Michael Jackson because he was going to bring all this type of stuff back. Now, granted, again, I will not put it past certain powers that be. I'm not trying to deny that. However, in the case of Kobe Bryant, I believe his conspiracy theory is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, and can be debunked. Now, he did the same thing with Nipsey Hussle. He used Nipsey Hussle's death to all revert it back to him and get more money from the Black community. Umar Johnson has basically used the deaths of celebrities, mainly Black male celebrities, to say that, oh, it's the racist white supremacist agenda and stuff like that. And again, wouldn't put it past any powers that be, but still. I think he takes, again, nuggets of the truth, like a lot of these hostile hoteps do, and stretches it to unbelievable proportions. Now, getting into the case of what somebody talked about on Lenon Honors Live. It was a woman who said, you know what, if you wanted to talk about building a school, or if you wanted to really put something like a school into fruition, and like I said before, you should have started small. And she was right. You know, maybe you should have started with a rec center or an after school program or just something simple like that building you claim to own. That can't be a school. That can't be this grand school. Because remember, he was trying to buy a whole HBCU campus and build that and just say, you know, we already have the dorms, we already have a big college campus, and turn it into a residential school. And like I said, when I first found out about this guy, that was a great thing. All we had to do was keep donating. But when I see this man doesn't have a plan, this man doesn't have a team, this man is not necessarily business oriented, this man has a very flawed character, and I can't see anyone putting their children in the presence of this man. And like I said, look, even the regular schmegular principals and teachers at your schools, regular schmegular school, probably have bad characters and worse characters. But the difference is you don't always see them getting online and, you know, exposing themselves. And when they do expose themselves, most likely they're going to get fired. Okay? Most likely that's going to happen. However, with Umar Johnson has already showed his true colors. He's already shown us his true colors. And we know what not to do. But I personally think this man needs to get help. I really do think this man needs to get mental help. He needs to get physical help, because people said that he was losing weight over a period of time. And something tells me this man is definitely homeless and definitely on drugs. And it's so shocking to see how far he's fallen. And I see this as a level of pride and ego preventing him from just owning up and admitting that he was wrong. Yes, he's took that money, or he just doesn't have a plan to build with that money. And like the woman said, you know, you should have started small. Like that building you claim to own, maybe renovate that and just turn it into a rec center or an after school program. But the problem with that is, and people have looked that up, saying that, look, that school is run down. That's in a brownfield area. It's, you know, an EPA health violation. It's in one of the worst, most dangerous neighborhoods ever. And it's, you know, surrounded by sex offenders. So why would you want to make this a residential school? Why would you want to have kids around that school? And notice, now it could vary by state, but the sex offender law say you can't live within a certain radius or within a certain distance to a school where children are. You can't do that. And there were other schools that cost, like I said, and like Chief X has said, you know, years ago, there are other schools like in Detroit and other places that are foreclosed schools, actual schools that cost less than half of what Umar has claimed to raise. And I believe he raised well over $1 million. And I think the money has dried up. And at this point, we're not paying for a school, or people who are donating or who he's begging to donate to him are not paying for a school. They're paying for his lifestyle. And there was another person, I remember this name completely, okay? His name was Byron, and he was on Lenon Honors Live. And you know what? He said the problem with us in our community is we like everything. We want to be lavish within a year. And I do think that's the problem with us. We want overnight results in a short period of time. We want to see our, movement and the end goal of our movement come to fruition. And you know what? I think with all that we've been through, we deserve it. And I believe because we want to achieve what we set forth to achieve, we want to achieve it while we're still here and while we're still young. And I think that's why people have so much blind faith in this man, or people had so much blind faith in this man, like, Sandman and Oh God said on Uncensored Truth. Shout out to them as one of the anti-fraud warriors, shout out to them. But I think I think if I'm saying his name right, Sandman, if I'm saying your name right, he said that, we're blindly walking in the faith of this man because Umar had the potential to us, especially with what he was saying and how he was acting and the promise of a school. And, trying to see, we want a revolution to be seen, especially in this present day and age, especially with the age of social media. You would think that in the days of advanced technology and social media, where our ancestors and forefathers and mothers didn't have that, you would think that we will definitely see our dreams and our movement come to fruition, or the end goal of our movement come to fruition in a shorter and faster period of time. And that's why, Byron on Lenon Honors Live said, we want it to be lavish. We want to reach to the top so fast. We want to reach to the top overnight. And we'll cry and complain when we hit the bottom. And like he said, sometimes it's like we're building foundations, building on a foundation of sand. And we don't have a strong structural foundation. We really don't. And instead of sometimes owning up to what could be our fault, and we'll just say that it's the outsider's fault, every external issue. Now, granted, I am not denying or excusing or dismissing external issues that are out of our control as a reason or an obstacle for why we can't get to where we want to get to. Those are still in place and those still exist. But I also do feel like there is a level of not acknowledging the part that we play that hinders us from getting to where we want to go. And part of it is blindly putting our faith in one person, okay? We kind of did that with Obama, all right? We put our faith in this man. We just voted, sat back, and a lot of you really thought that he was just going to do something. But did you really go in with a full-blown agenda, or with just the thought that this man could actually just snap his fingers and solve our problems, and 400 years or 400 plus years of our oppression and our problems were just going to go away in 4 to 8 years? This is what I mean. Some of the ways in which some people in this community, these hotep woke folks, want people to be woke is very unrealistic. And like I said, maybe we have to start small and start from the bottom. But I think because we want to see so many things come in our lifetime, come to fruition in our lifetime, and while we're still here and while we're still young and while we're still alive, we want to start so big when maybe we should just start small and work smart to get to where we want to go. And I think that's what's tripping us up, because we want to start so big. With Umar, he basically wants to be this present day Marcus Garvey, or the present day Martin Luther King. And I put those in quotes because he is nowhere near that. He just has the charisma, but that's it. And honestly, he's losing that, because like one person said, before he was very well put together, well spoken, professional. Now he just sounds like the type of people you see in the quote unquote hood or in the bad areas that, are quote unquote crazy. He's dropping N-bombs left and right. And he never used to do that, of course, until that rant SETI. He never used to do that so often. And, he's cursing more often, and he's going on tirades more often. His emotions are not intact And it's like the more and more he gets on this live and he talks about everyone else, like he was basically saying that if you are mourning Kobe Bryant's death, don't force yourself to cry. He said he's seen a lot of videos where people are giving fake condolences. And he said in his rant to SETI about how, he said he's insecure within himself, but it seems like when he's talking and ranting about everybody else, he's really just talking about himself. And he exposes himself and tells on himself every single time. It's like, if you just read between the lines and you dissect everything, you can tell, like, he's just really talking about himself. His insecurity is showing. His superiority complex and inferiority complex is showing. And I actually have to talk about his hypocrisy. And I mentioned this in another video where he said that, we should go out and blow cops' brains out. Those are his words, okay? But he comes back to backtrack on that and said it was audio manipulation technology. But when he says that we should put Black boys to sleep for good, 10% of the Black community, 10% of Black boys, he needs to put to sleep, or we need to put to sleep for good. And we need to have a civil war with them. He said this twice, one in 2013 and one in 2019, which was most recent. But he never comes to backtrack and, to say that it's a problem. See, these hoteps, the Michi X's of the world and the Umar Johnsons of the world and the Brother Polites of the world, these hoteps, so-called woke folks, they'll be quick to call everyone else coons and sellouts and Uncle Toms when they feel like they're being too, quote unquote, soft or nice or civil. They'll say all of that. And look, like I said, some people are actually deserving of those titles, no doubt. But these hostile hoteps and pro-wax, I don't like to call them pro-black because I think they do I think these types do very much a disservice to the movement that we're trying to put on. I think they do a great disservice to it. But these pro-wax and hoteps, foteps, and noteps, they talk all this ish about white supremacy and whatnot, but they don't build. But really, the people they attack the most, and they don't come back to backtrack, they attack us the most, each other the most. So he doesn't come back to backtrack when it comes to eliminating 10% of the Black community or Black boys, but he comes back to backtrack and say it was audio manipulation technology when he says we need to blow cops' brains out. And by the way, when he was on that Christian radio show, basically saying that, for us to forgive the so-called enemy is a problem when we do something publicly like that. And granted, that was very irresponsible of Botham Jean's brother to do that, at least in public. Now, I'm a Christian, but I don't believe in, doing all that in public. Forgiveness does take time, and it shouldn't be this quick thing. But granted, I also noticed that these so-called Black Christians, they really spew that I forgive you. They really say, oh, I forgive you, I have no hate in my heart, when they feel like justice has been served. I don't see any of them who also may be Christian do that when the person gets off or anything like that. I really don't see them do that publicly. But when they're actually going to jail, you see them say, I forgive you. That's what I've noticed. But he says that we shouldn't do anything or say anything publicly, even individually, that's going to affect us as a group. We shouldn't be docile and stuff. However, he goes and says, we need to blow cops' brains out, but then comes back to backtrack. You know what? You notice that? He makes something, or he says something publicly that could have affected us as a group. This man is a big hypocrite. And the fact that people still follow him is beyond me. And what I also find funny, and this is why I don't listen to pro-wax and hoteps, foteps, and noteps when it comes to things about interracially dating. This is the same man who came after Serena's. Now, he was more respectful than some of the other Black men online, but he came at Serena Williams saying that, that man she married, he doesn't like her. He's not really into her. Now, believe what you want, say what you want. I hope Serena's protecting her assets, okay? But this is a man who says, oh, no. She needs an unapologetically African alpha male. First of all, that's not him, okay? That alpha male part is not him. But this is a man, like all the other broke dusties, who claim to be so woke. This is a man who has 2 to 3 children out of wedlock by 2 to 3 different women. He's not paying his child support for either of his kids. Okay? And he's not even in Serena Williams' tax bracket, yet and still he wants to tell her what kind of man she should be with. And let me tell you, even without Serena, the man that she's with has more wealth than Umar Johnson. And I don't think he had to beg people online. And when I say beg people online, I don't think he had to stick his hand out and said a good $2 donation will do good for something like a school. Now, he right now is a venture capitalist. He used to own Reddit or co-own Reddit, which was estimated to be in the billions. So this man is telling a woman who he's not even in her tax bracket and he's not paying child support for either of his kids. He's not married. He wants to say he's against interracial marriage. Oh, and I'm going to get that into a little bit later, okay? He is saying that he's against it, or he, doesn't like when black men do it. And personally, I think that's just a pandering scheme to get single black mothers and poor single black mothers to donate to him and to cape for him, which is why I was so upset at all the black women, caping for him after the Roland Martin show, because I read through the BS and I was very disappointed in Lovely T for doing that, for calving his back, because I'm saying, sis, don't you read through the BS? Because I did. But anyway, this man is talking about how she needs to be with an unapologetically African alpha male, but this man is never married, hasn't been married for all that we know, is not married. He has 2 to 3 children by 2 to 3 different women out of wedlock, and he's begging people online to pay for him. Who knows, that money is probably going to his back child support, because from what we see, he's not paying his child support. But these are the same hoteps that will talk about building the black family, yet and still they don't know how to build their own families. See, they want to tell everyone how to clean up and how to fix the community, how to fix their homes, yet they're not cleaning up their own backyards. So I don't really want to hear his advice on marriage unless he either has experience or he's in a marriage. I don't want to hear that. And another thing too, he actually, allegedly, is dating this woman named Sharon, who is biracial and who has a white mother. So it seems like he may be taking the, Tariq Nasheed route. See, he can't stand white folks and he can't do that, but he can get with someone with a white parent. He seems like he's taking the Tariq Nasheed route. And he might be pimping and scamming her, because allegedly, the money that he is taking from donations, he's putting into that art gallery that this woman has. So see what I mean? This man is a big hypocrite, and this is why I stopped listening to him, and this is why I stopped listening to hoteps who want to talk about interracial marriages. See, it's okay for them, and they want to slice and dice it either way and play semantics, but this is why I'm open to everybody, okay? Well, anybody, not everybody, but you know what I mean. This is why I just stopped listening to them. And black women, just do not take this woke advice. Do not listen to their get out, fear-mongering, fetishizing, swirl gone wrong narratives of fear-mongering. Don't do it. Because at the end of the day, they're trying to scare you, but, they're doing whatever they want. Okay? That's why I don't listen to them. But still, this man, at the end of the day, just turns out to be a big, big hypocrite. And it's annoying at this point. And the fact that he's still trying, look, I appreciate the tenacity. There's some notes you can take from there about tenacity. But my God, this guy's plane is crashing and burning. And it's like he still tries to fly it. Like, come on now. I think at this point it's over. Conscious Energy said the 2020 finesse. Man, I think after 2020... one person even came in my comment section on my Hoteps video, on my Umar Johnson video. And she said I assume it's a woman, but they said if the school is not up and running by 2020, they want their money back because they donated to this person back in 2013. I remember another woman who said she donated to him, I think in 05 or 04 or 06, but she donated to him like a $250, and she came out on YouTube saying, yeah, he got me for that $250. And so there are people coming out saying I've donated back in the day, and I still haven't seen what I donated to come to fruition. So, man, at this point, the fact that this man has any supporters is beyond me. Yeah, so anyway, thank you for tuning in. That's all I pretty much had to say on this topic. You know, RIP to Kobe Bryant, and you know, my condolences to the families and, you know, Kobe Bryant's and the families of the people whose lives were lost. And it's just a really sad, unfortunate, tragic situation that came out of nowhere. And, you know, I just, you know, my heart goes out to them. So, yes, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. You know, if I missed anything, you know, just put that down in the comment section down below. Share if you care. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.